here in Jerusalem. Hello everyone, I'm your host Ale Barav. Welcome to the official coverage of OurCrowd's 2018 Global Investor Summit, the largest investor conference in Israel. Today, the capital city is hosting 10,000 attendees, among them investors, venture capitalists, multinationals, entrepreneurs, and 300 journalists from all around the world in the Israeli and the global ecosystem, in person and online, all playing a part and collaborating within the innovation revolution. We will bring you sneak peeks from the main plenaries, exclusive interviews with the movers and the shakers of the global tech scene. We will try some of the coolest tech shaping the future. So let us know you're watching, comment, and share with your friends, because now you get the chance to join live at the OurCrowd Global Investor Summit along with us from anywhere around the world. Be sure to tag your post, hashtag OCSummit18, and tag me at Ale Barav. It's appearing on
2017 was yet another breakthrough year for tech companies around the world, especially for Israeli startups, where total exits reached $23 billion, including two exceptional deals that broke the billion-dollar barrier. Many were recognized for their innovation crossing traditional sectors: cybersecurity for connected cars, artificial intelligence applied to medical imaging, smarter video surveillance fighting crime. These startups are taking on life-altering challenges and already defining the future. BriefCam is transforming video data into actionable intelligence. Their video surveillance technology made headlines this year as it was credited by US police officers for catching an alleged child predator. On the fintech scene, a groundbreaking partnership between Samsung and BioCatch fills major security holes exposed when seamless interface of today's most popular mobile applications don't require a user to log in per session to validate their identity. BioCatch makes interactions with the device smarter when the owner's movements become recognizable, and denying outsiders access is a no-brainer. Another Israeli startup partnering with a tech giant making all the difference is Zebra Medical Vision. In a huge milestone for medical diagnosis, Zebra is collaborating with Google to offer its algorithms on the search giant's cloud. Zebra also announced its new business model, $1 per scan. Currently, Zebra's artificial intelligence-powered scanning can spot liver and lung disease before humans can. In the autonomous driving arena, Tel Aviv-based startup Argus Cybersecurity, whose technology guards connected cars against hacking, jointly launched a technology for delivering over-the-air vehicle software updates with Continental subsidiary Electrobit. A month later, Continental announced its acquisition of Argus Cybersecurity for a reported $430 million. Meanwhile, revving up to science fiction speed, early this year, US-based Hyperloop One completed its first successful test run. Loaded into 1,600-foot-long concrete tube in the Nevada desert, the pod hit 192 miles per hour in about 5 seconds, using an electric propulsion system producing more than 3,000 horsepower. Then magnetic levitation kicked in, and soon after, so did Richard Branson's Virgin Group, which invested in the company now known as Virgin Hyperloop One, a huge step for smart mobility and one of many in the exciting journey ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the OurCrowd Global Investor Summit 2018. Please make your way upstairs to the main auditorium, where the morning plenary session has already begun. Please make your way upstairs.
We are going live to the plenary
for the morning plenary.
For $15 billion, and today the Autonomous Car Research and Development Center, practically the largest in the world, is here in the city of Jerusalem, and we anticipate that Jerusalem will continue thriving in our high-tech side in the next few years. I think OurCrowd is another Jerusalem-based company which I value a lot because of the fact that all of you are here, visiting our city and better understanding the opportunities that the city has to offer. The second business cluster, I mentioned it before, is clustering culture and tourism. And indeed, in the last decade, we view this opportunity and leverage this opportunity a great deal. The number of tourists grew from 2 to 4 million tourists a year in the last 7, 8 years. And our target and our goal is to exceed 10 million tourists in the future. We see the city going through a cultural renaissance. You'll probably be able to taste it if you go to our markets and to our cultural institutions that are thriving in the last few years. There's no doubt that Jerusalem has become a hub for national and international culture and sports initiatives. Next month, beginning of March, we're going to have our yearly marathon. Over 30,000 people, over 3,000 people from all over the world will join our marathon. And walking the streets of the city of Jerusalem, seeing where kings and prophets walked 3,000 years ago, is definitely an element that we promote very, very happily. On the demand side, the city is growing. We're also in the process of developing one of the largest business districts. Actually, this convention hall, today 40,000 square meters, will grow to be 270,000 square meter convention hall, the largest in the Middle East. We're working on that. And in the area around the entrance of Jerusalem, where we are right now, we will be building 24 towers, 16 million square feet of office space, the largest business district in the city, in the country, right on top of the transportation hub, right next to us. Thank you. So when you come a few years from now to OurCrowd convention, you'll be standing in one of the largest convention halls in the world, less than 20 minutes from the airport with a fast train. And if you would like to visit the city, you'll have a network of cable cars connecting you to all the relevant places, to ancient city of Jerusalem, the holy places, and other places combined. So Jerusalem is very proud to host you. We believe that the future is ahead of us. We leverage our past. We know how to connect to 3,000 years of investment and history. And we have a lot to offer in terms of partnerships, in high tech, in health life sciences, and in many, many other elements that create the city's future a very bright one. I want to wish you all a very successful convention. Enjoy our city. Go back home as reference of our great, great city, Jerusalem. Thank you very, very much.
Hi, I'm John Medved, and I'm the CEO and founder of OurCrowd. How can I invest in Israel's startup scene? We're now the biggest crowdfunding for technology company's site in the world. I think 2017 will be another very, very good year. What's hot is machine learning everything. So I had a little bit of a challenge with my team when we sort of contemplated what I was going to say to open this conference. And they really appealed to me and said, you know, Medved, please, don't just get up there again and say that things are really great in Israel and they're going to get better. Because you say that every year, and it's sort of boring already. You're a little bit of a cheerleader. Can you just try something new? And I thought about it, looked at the data, and I have some good news and some bad news to report to my team and to you. I like to start with the bad news. The bad news is, I'm sorry, I'm going to say the same thing. The good news is that things are good and are getting better. I mean, look, if you look at what's going on in the markets are crazy. We all know how the Dow has gone up like crazy. We also should all know by now what's happened in the Israeli tech ecosystem in terms of dollars invested. Last year, a new record year, over $5 billion, continued growth, over 80% of those dollars coming from overseas. Exits broke new ground. Again, the Mobileye deal really helped a lot, but $23 billion in total exit value last year out of Israel. Not just Mobileye, but many large exits, including our own in the company Argus and the cybersecurity for auto space. And what we have really come to realize is that what we're doing here at the OurCrowd Summit, and this is a little bit going out on a limb, is we're trying to set the themes and the trends for the coming year, certainly in equity crowdfunding and more generally in the Israeli investment scene. There are conferences around the world that you look to sort of tell you what's going to happen, whether it's CES in consumer electronics, or RSA in security, or RSNA in radiology, or even the World Economic Forum in Davos. But here at OurCrowd, we actually have started doing that in our little bailiwick. And for example, last year, if you were listening, in our Tech Trends session, which you'll see in the midday plenary, we predicted, of course, that blockchain was going to be huge and crypto was going to go crazy. If you had listened to what we said and invested accordingly, then you would have made 33 times your money, okay, in terms of the aggregate on cryptocurrency appreciation. Unfortunately, I didn't personally listen, and I'm sure some of you are also sort of in that boat. But if you would also listen, for example, some of the Israeli companies took advantage of this, and there were Israeli ICOs. 2 of the largest 10 were Israeli companies. But if you also sat here last year, you saw this gentleman, Doris Schooler, with a company called Intuition Robotics and his amazing robot, LEQ. He was showing it for the first time. Well, guess what? The rest of the world is now waking up.
Technology. The new LEQ will help the elderly text, FaceTime, and do other online activities, as shown in their promotional video.
LEQ reminds me to take my meds, arranges rides for me. She even reminds me of all my appointments.
Mary, don't forget bridge with the Golden Girls at 1 p.m. Would you like to practice?
Oh, I don't need to practice.
I didn't catch that. Do you want to play bridge or not?
Oh, fine.
I said it's time for bridge practice. Don't upset me, Mary. It would be a shame if someone mixed up your meds.
So if you want to know what Colbert and the rest of the world is going to think, listen today, get out there to the various breakout sessions, explore this place. By the way, I can't emphasize that enough. The hall is vast, and you've got to get out to the far corners. There are going to be incredible companies showing their technologies that are the beginning of these trends. And if you focus on that today, you'll see what's going to happen. A little bit about OurCrowd and where we're going this year. Basically, if you look at our business today, there's really a quadrant. On the customer level or the partner level, we have individual investors. That's the crowd. That's the 25,000 registered investors. But we also have now, for the first time, institutions and family offices joining us who are saying, you know what, we like the platform. We don't have $10,000 to invest. We have $10 million to invest. And they're welcome, as we say in this country, ahlan v'sahlan, baruch haba. We are welcoming today many of these institutions and family offices here. But in addition to our traditional crowdfunding of individual companies on the product side, where we give you the opportunity to invest in Intuition Robotics or in Zebra and BioCatch or companies like that, we are also now offering venture capital funds. Because let's face it, until now, to make an investment in a venture fund, you needed millions of dollars. You really needed to be institutional class. But today, on OurCrowd, you can actually do these investments for $50,000. And this is an interesting quadrant of activity. So if you look at our funds now, we have 12 different funds that run the gamut from early stage funds to later stage sector funds that are focused on digital health or on mobility, geographic focused funds, or strategy funds. Now, one of the issues here in this country has been that seed funding, or the earliest stage of venture funding, has actually been flat to down. When you look at that growth curve, which I showed you, it's really almost entirely represented by the large deals. If you look at this chart that I'm showing you that's only correct to the last half of about half a year ago, the big blue bars are the big deals. And you see how that's grown dramatically since 2013. But the bottom bar, that orange bar, has been flat. And it turns out that actually from 2016 to 2017, seed funding here was down by 49%. Not a good thing, but a really great opportunity. And so for us, we're going to be redoubling our focus on seed investing, but doing it together through funds and projects like our Jerusalem incubator. We announced here at the summit that we're now launching the Labs 02, which is our Jerusalem-based incubator. We'll be funding up to 100 different startups. 100 different startups over the next 10 years. First two have been announced, C2A and the chip-level security for the auto area, and Keepers to focus on cyberbullying and social media addiction for teens. We also are going to continue to invest in seed with many of our funds, such as Cure in the digital health area, or the new cognitive artificial intelligence fund, and partner funds that we're working with like Maniv in the mobility space. But back on the platform, we're going to continue to do even bigger deals. So you're going to see deals that are at 10 million, or even, I hope, $20 million for a single company through crowdfunding. And that's really cool. Now, we're also continuing to participate in what we call follow-on rounds. Because one of the important parts about venture investing is not just to put money in one time, but to follow your bets all the way through. That's what VCs do when they're being smart. And what we've proven here at OurCrowd is we can do the same thing. We don't just put up a company once on the platform. We actually grow our position over time. And we have many, many companies where you'll see we've participated already in 3, 4, or 5 different rounds. We're also announcing at the summit for the first time, and those Israelis who raised their hands, pay attention to this one because this is important, that as of now, Israelis can invest with OurCrowd on our platform and get the advantage of the Israeli angel law. This is a law which gives you the ability to write off up to 50% of your investment at the point of investment. So the government is basically becoming your partner on a half-half basis in your risk. It's an incredible deal. Take a look at it. We're now the first platform to be able to offer that, and that's important. It's going to increase the number of Israelis to join our large numbers of overseas people in the platform investing. Our portfolio continues to grow. It's now 145 companies. They range from cybersecurity to medtech, from the web to cloud to drones, and we do this on purpose. We want to have a marketplace where you can choose the themes and the areas.
The Jerusalem International Convention Center has been a household name for more than 60 years. Today, it is witnessing the largest investor summit in Israel. 10,000 people from more than 80 countries registered to join us today. Something like this doesn't happen overnight. For about almost a decade, the city has been developing to become a world-class innovation hub. The visionary who brought Jerusalem to this reality is the mayor of the city, Nir Barkat. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, good morning, welcome.
Thank you. Tell us, I know you love thinking games. I know you're a visionary. So let's play first, before we start with the questions, a little game, okay? So I'll give you a word and you tell us the first thing that comes to mind, okay? So, challenge.
Gotta win it.
Diversity.
The nature of the city of Jerusalem.
Religion.
Turns the world around.
Future.
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem.
Future. Past and future. Great connection between past and future.
I love it. All of you, you breathe Jerusalem through your skin.
Yeah, it's my life mission.
Last year, Jerusalem celebrated 50 years of reunification, and this year we're celebrating the 70th anniversary of the State of Israel. So tell us, we came from one generation from survivors to super tech power. How is the Jerusalem playing this central role in the startup nation?
Well, mind you, I was an entrepreneur before I became mayor, and I was deep into the high-tech sector. And I learned to dream big and fulfill the vision and the dreams. And so when I decided to be mayor, I said, we need to take the city and create that, or develop this huge potential in the high-tech sector. And so working with Professor Michael Porter from Harvard Business School, I focused on how to increase tourism and cluster it with culture. That's one economic engine of the city. And the second is developing the high-tech sector. And thank God we see very, very nice movement in these two business clusters. Due to our amazing university, in the Hebrew University, which is top 10 in the world in generic research in life sciences, in health, in computer science and math, we got this huge potential, and we are now developing it to the reality that you see.
Many cities are aiming to become innovation hubs. Jerusalem became the first top emerging innovation hub according to Time magazine. What are the challenges, the main challenge that you face, and how are you addressing it?
Well, we've been looking at the competitive ecosystem, competitive environment between Jerusalem and the rest of the country, and Jerusalem and the rest of the world. And we've learned what is the best way to create this ecosystem. It has to do with making sure people love living here, so that entrepreneurs and their spouses choose Jerusalem as a destination where to raise their kids and way of life. Then we've got the best tax incentive and incentive programs for young startups, for expanding companies, and for large corporates. The best corporate tax in the country, very competitive. And as important, to create this networking, many events, lots of connectivity, lots of communal life in high tech that give us an edge. So all that together has created this ecosystem that is very competitive and very successful.
So this is what we see in the future, in the present. What do you see in the future? 5 years in Jerusalem, how will it look like?
Well, what is happening in our city, we have grown from 250 startups to over 600 in 4 or 5 years. We've got amazing success stories like Mobileye, that last year was just sold for $15 billion to Intel.
The largest in Israel's history, right?
You have all these young companies that are scaling and developing very nicely. So I believe that you'll find a very healthy market in Jerusalem. Many startups, now we have more and more mid-sized companies growing to be large companies. I believe that Jerusalem will continue to thrive because we have an edge, we have a competitive advantage. And thank God that more and more investors now see it, especially with the help of OurCrowd and other initiatives. Jerusalem is on the right track. We just have to put more gas on the pedal and make sure it continues this way.
Well, it's wonderful for us to be here in Jerusalem. I'm sure that all these investors and people coming from all around the world will enjoy Jerusalem this weekend.
I want to thank you and actually wish and offer all the investors coming to the city of Jerusalem to enjoy our holy sites, our archaeological sites, our culture and way of life. This is where kings and prophets walked 3,000 years ago. Take the opportunity, enjoy our city, and go back home as ambassadors of peace of the city of Jerusalem. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. And just like the city of Jerusalem has developed into an emerging hub and has improved its infrastructure, let's go see how cities around the world are improving their infrastructure and the tech that is changing all the infrastructure, the future of infrastructure.
Often it's the systems in place all around us, those keeping the lights on, the engines running, the plants growing that we take for granted the most. Optimizing infrastructure for an ever-modernizing world is no small feat, but Startup Nation is forging ahead.
Israel has very little market in its own. On the other hand, it has very innovative startups and very innovative engineers. Corporates have a problem of doing innovation internally. It usually becomes incremental innovation. So the combination of startups with disruptive, totally revolutionary solutions and corporates who are looking for these kind of solutions is great. And that's why there are more than 300 multinational corporates active in Israel looking for innovation all the time.
One of Israel's acclaimed companies, known for defense technology, has been applying wartime innovations to civilian use. Empress has repurposed the tech behind the Iron Dome for electric power utilities, helping to prevent blackouts. Vector is New Zealand's leading multi-network infrastructure company. Empress mission-critical Internet of Energy software will enable Vector to improve operational efficiencies and, in time, offer new services to its customers, such as home energy optimization, choice of clean energy, grid contribution, and energy trading. A company shaping the future of energy-efficient buildings is Enverid. This Israeli-led startup took a unique approach to standard air conditioning technology.
Enverid came and presented a technology to us where they actually remove CO2 from the system without dispersing it through outside air.
At the beginning of the 2017 school year, the University of Miami implemented Enverid's HLR technology, saving over a third of its energy costs on its UHealth property.
We were able to save a total between the 3 units of around $19,000 a year in energy savings.
Beyond improving daily operations when disaster strikes, new and now proven technologies provide unseen tools for emergency responders. EdGB is an Israeli startup empowering professional drone operators with augmented reality, has leveraged its first application, a drone gaming interface for real-life aerial operations.
After we released the game itself, we had tens of thousands of downloads and we had quite a bit of publicity. We received inbound inquiries from public safety officials, from fire, police, National Guard, about our technology. They asked if we could apply this technology to the use of drones in this industry. We worked with a number of these in hand, a number of fire and police departments in Texas, California, Florida, and applied this technology to helping these folks in the field.
First proven in post-Irma, Florida, EdGB's rolled out their augmented reality technology for fire, police, and public safety pilots as a powerful control app. Smart technology is not only being applied to urban zones, but rural areas too, with incredible impact on the agriculture industry. Precision intelligence platform Taranis helps farmers monitor fields. Big data meets the age-old farming industry through this revolutionary tool.
We developed kind of a pod. We connected to spraying airplanes, to drones, to regular airplanes. We image the fields in very, very high resolution.
Deep learning and big data analytics can provide a farmer with a picture of a worm eating a leaf of its crops, weed, and the foliation with 5mm resolution aerial pictures.
Conhecer mais a realidade da lavoura, mas quando você sai de 30, 15 metros, você vai para submilimétrico, o nível de detalhamento espacial é muito maior, né? Auxiliado pelo algoritmo de reconhecimento, isso vai trazer a novo patamar que nós não tínhamos antes e é até difícil prever o que vai ser isso, mas eu sei que vai ser algo diferente.
Combining engineering and data expertise, these tech companies provide smart answers to age-old infrastructure challenges, strengthening the backbone of world economies.
2017 was a breakthrough year for mobility. In 2018, we're starting to see many autonomous features in today's cars. With this new reality, new challenges arise, such as connected cars being hacked. One of the first companies to demonstrate loopholes in car security was Argus Cybersecurity. They were acquired last year by German mobility giant Continental, and today they're both here with us at the Global Investor Summit. Warner Kessler and Ofer Ben-Nun, so great to have you here. How are you guys?
Hi, happy to be here. Good morning.
So tell us, what is going on with the partnership that and the acquisition of Argus to Continental? What is it going to bring for the mobility life world?
That's a very good question. Thank you for having us here. There are many ways we can work together. So Arbus has a very good software solution,
And Continental has the hardware to integrate that. So we are market leader in the telematic units and in the gateways in the car. And together we can bring our solutions to the market that are complete, covering end-to-end. We're covering here also on the back-end side security operation centers with Argus know-how. And the best thing is we do not keep that exclusive for Continental. We offer these products also in the market for other companies to use that.
And we know that Argus was tried by many car makers, and it was better than all the competitors. What are the new features and the new project that you're bringing with Continental?
So I think after being tested by most of the car manufacturers and the different groups in the world, it was first a very good attestment for our capabilities, but also a very good way for us to get into the market from a point of strength and a point of having the right capabilities to allow vehicles to be on the road protected today, but also 10 years down the line with ongoing protection and updatability. And this allows us to protect the vehicle from multiple levels, both on the connectivity but also on the in-vehicle network and with ongoing updatability over the lifespan of the vehicle.
So you're always thinking ahead of what's going to be new in mobility. You're preparing for to avoid things and to assure security in connected cars. What's next? What are the technologies that we're going to see next in mobility?
It's again a very good question. Everybody knows the answer. There are three major trends. This is the connectivity of the car, this is electrification of the powertrain, and this is automated driving. If you combine all three of them together, the mobility as a whole thing will change. It will go from ownership to sharing. And with that, there will be a completely new customer group that we focus on. And these are the fleet operators, the companies that will own the car in the future, to operate them and give the best service to the people who are requesting and needing the mobility service. So that will be our additional future customers.
So your cooperation is very unique. Continental is a broad, know-how. They have know-how software solutions. So what are the challenges that you're facing in the software industry, in the software for connected cars?
I think that there are many challenges how to keep up with the speed of the industry with cybersecurity and to make sure that we are always ahead of what the hackers are thinking with our security solutions. And for that we had the ability to bring the best team in Israel and globally. So both people coming from cybersecurity background, a lot of them coming from 8200 intelligence unit, but also people coming from the automotive industry, that allows us to have the best know-how in the field and also to always make sure that we are ahead of what the hackers are thinking. Actually, this year we are going to more than double the company from 80 people to 160 people, and we have to maintain the capabilities and the knowledge. So we look forward for the best engineers in Israel.
So Argus is a startup that fulfilled the exit dream in just 4 years of being founded. So what would you say were the two factors for that success, for the exit?
I think the two key factors were firstly the people. So having an excellent team, people who are devoted, energized, and they believe in the vision and want to take it forward till the end. And the second point are great partners. And when we are talking about great partners, we are talking about investors like OurCrowd, but also strong industry players like Continental. And I think that was the key to our success from the early beginning.
Okay, so we expect to see much more mobility startups from Israel doing an exit and more companies, great giants like Continental, acquiring them. And we look forward to see tech changing the way we move. We're also moving on to the opening plenary.
Please send their CV to us, and we look forward to having them with us. Thank you, and we look forward to an amazing vision.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Werner and Ofer.
Thank you for having us.
So at the center of this ecosystem, we're able to connect portfolio companies with strategic customers and investors. And sometimes one leads to the other, and a strategic customer can actually become an investor. Earlier last year, John and I orchestrated an introduction between Emprest, one of OurCrowd's most significant investments to date, and Vector, a leading utility company from the Southern Hemisphere. I'm proud to have with us Michael Stiassny, the chairman of Vector, and Nathan Barak, the CEO and founder of Emprest.
First of all, I would like to thank OurCrowd for this great opportunity, but not just for that. We should thank them for the contribution for the state of Israel, bringing all those investors and customers here to Israel. My name is Nathan Barak. I'm the CEO of Emprest. Emprest is a global provider for monitoring and control system for the industrial IoT markets. Walt Disney once said, if you can dream it, you can make it. And this is true, especially in the world of the technology. During my career, I've been involved in the development of systems that started with crazy idea, looks more like a science fiction than a real system. But determination, passion, and vision give those idea to reality. Emprest started her journey from the defense world. We have been involved in the most sophisticated command control system worldwide, including the Iron Dome command control system. Our technology was recognized worldwide to be one of the most innovative technology out of Israel, aside Waze, voice over IP, and other great invention ever have been. During the last few years, what we have done is we have transferred the real-time data analytics, machine learning, and all those fascinating capabilities coming from the defense world into the industrial IoT and the operation technology. We found out that this technology is even more critical in the OT technology. We have been involved in very sophisticated command control system in industrial IoT. Netafim is worldwide leading in water dripping irrigator. We are building for them a command and control system where they are going to control 10,000s of farms all over the world, committing to double the growth of those farms just by using our data analytics, real-time data analytics and machine learning as part of our technology. We have just won the New York Prize for the best application for 2017 by the Mayor of New York for transformer health management that we have installed based on the same technology in NYPA, New York Power Authority, and preventing outages in the electrical markets in New York. We have been involved, we have been chosen by Nokia and Bezeq to be their IoT command control system for starting with smart cities, public safety, and now moving to utilities and other. And we are going to talk about what we are creating in the utilities market later on. One of the things that is amazing is all those connected car applications, smart cities, smart agriculture, smart water utilities management, and so on, are running on the same platform We believe that it is the most flexible platform worldwide based on microservices, which makes sure that we are always going to be the best of breed in the IoT command control system. Our application and system are running 24/7 all around the world, in India, in Singapore, Argentina, Brazil, and in United States, and a lot more. I would like to thank OurCrowd for the connections that they have done to us with Vector from Brazil. And I would like my friend Mike Estiasti, the chairman of Vector, to present to you what is the breakthrough that we are going through using our platform in managing utilities in smart grid management. So,
thank you, Natan. Nā mihi nu ki o katoa katoa, tihi Māori ora, e nā mana e nā roa e rā rangatiri mā. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Warm greetings to everyone. Behold the breath of life. To all authorities, to all voices, to the many chiefs gathered here, greetings, greetings, and greetings to everyone. I'm Michael Stiasny. I'm chairman of Vector, and we are New Zealand's largest electricity distribution company. We deliver electricity, gas, telecommunication services, smart meters, and a few other things to over 1.2 million houses and businesses in New Zealand. That's roughly a quarter of New Zealand's population, not allowing for the number of sheep. We're leading the transformation of the energy sector. We're creating a new energy future that will provide value, that will provide choice and service to our customers. We are democratizing the energy game, and the game is changing quite rapidly. Solar panels, batteries, electric vehicle chargers are now becoming more commonplace. We believe that these products will increase tenfold in the next 2 years on our system. And on top of that, we've luckily found peer-to-peer capability, which is allowing us to open up multi-directional energy flows so that we have a smart grid that allows us to deal with this growth. As I said, we're home to about a quarter of all New Zealanders. There is no other developed nation in the world that has such a concentration of population in one city alone. We're also one of the fastest growing cities in the world, and we have a geography which is unusual as we live on an isthmus. So our network is under severe pressure. It's under pressure to deliver in what is a complex and dynamic energy landscape. We need to deal with these technologies. We need to provide for the growth of our city. We need to keep the lights on and electricity going to all our customers. And finally, we need to continue to make a profit for our shareholders. So we turned to Imprest and we said to them, can you work with our people, to our engineers, and develop a software that will allow us to stay ahead of the game? And this is what the game is going to look like.
Energy. I guess we take it for granted. We use it so much in so many different ways. But as individuals, it doesn't feel like we have any control over it. It's all in someone else's hands. We need someone to supply it, we need someone to generate it, and we need to put pressure on our planet to create it. We don't get to make our own choices. So what if we could choose where our energy comes from and have more control over how we use it? Would that make the future brighter? Imagine a future where renewable energy charges batteries that help power our homes day and night, where data makes smarter energy choices easy, and we can choose what to use, what to sell, and what to share. I see a brighter future with electric cars that drive themselves. They can be charged anywhere and can even give your house a boost. A future where the energy network will be light and sleek. It'll be a smart network that powers itself and lets us trade our own energy. So, do we work towards that future or keep standing still? No one can do it all alone, but what if we create it together? If we can give Auckland a brighter future, we can light the way for the rest of New Zealand and the world. This is my vision of the future, and it's Victor's as well. Would you like to see it too?
Prest is leading the revolution in the energy. We are connecting almost everything, Telsa batteries, water heating in the homes, and a lot more, SCADAs and so on. And we will reduce the price and the cost of the electricity. We will increase the growth in the agriculture. We don't want just to save life. We also want to improve our life to a better life. Thank you.
It's been so cool to watch how this venue has been transformed with the OurCrowd Global Investor Summit for 2018. And we also just saw how new technology is fundamentally changing the way we monitor our infrastructure. So it's basically tech is sweeping across sectors. And joining me now on set is cognitive partner, TED speaker, and futurist Avi Reichenthal. How are you, Avi?
I'm great, Ale. It's great to be here. It's just an amazing conference, and it shows that OurCrowd is becoming truly an exponential organization.
Absolutely, and I know you're a futurist. You loved a little thinking game, so let's play a little thinking game before we jump into the questions.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a word, and then tell me the first thing that comes to mind, okay? And guys and girls that are watching, just check if you're connected to futurist mind. So here we go. Digital.
Everything
Technology.
is going to change our lives.
Crowd. One word.
Funding.
Oh, intelligence.
Artificial.
Human.
Intelligence and condition.
Okay, so send us your questions to pick from the crowd, from your comments, so that you will be able to ask Avi one of your questions. And I hear that you're breathing the future of 3D printing. So what is it in the future? How is it changing the use for both industrial and home?
It's a great question, Ale. We have Nexa 3D here, which is really defining the last frontier: speed, accuracy, and scalability of isotropic production-ready parts. 3D printing is unstoppable. It's here to stay. It's quickly migrating into manufacturing. And companies like Nexa 3D, which is exhibiting here, is really breaking the speed barrier, accuracy at convincing scale.
Like a complicated model, geometry, yeah. How long does it take to...
So we're talking here about minutes instead of hours and days. Nexa 3D can print 1 centimeter every minute, regardless of the size in XY. So it doesn't matter how big the part is, it's gonna grow 1 centimeter every minute, which is just unheard of.
Yeah, that's amazing. I hear you've investing in deep tech companies for a few years now. So how's artificial intelligence shaping the future?
I mean, look, artificial intelligence is going to touch and disrupt every part of society as we know it. How we make, how we learn, how we transact, how we insure, how we manufacture, how we talk, who we advertise to. My AI is going to talk to your AI. And they're going to make plans. You know, movies like the movie Hair is going to become a reality in the next few years. And so it's going to create perhaps the largest transfer of wealth and wealth creation in our generation, and is going to disrupt life as we know it in unimaginable ways and also in some unintended ways.
And now that you're speaking of some unintended ways, we have a question from the crowd saying, okay, there's a bright upside side of artificial intelligence, but there's also like a sort of a dark side of artificial intelligence. They say it's coming for our jobs. So how do you see the future of work for us humans?
I think that we will definitely be augmented and enhanced by AI. AI is going to allow us to do a lot of things that we couldn't do by ourselves, and in some instances is going to be superior to us. We will get the first upgrade to our brain perhaps in a few million years. However, with all technologies, we're going to have some unintended consequences because as humans, the human condition has a light side and a dark side. Our job is going to be to manage it, and job disruption is imminent. As much as it pains me, I mean, we're with Tony Robbins and with Peter Diamandis and Ray Kurzweil a week ago in Los Angeles, talking about the future of work. And the reality is, in the next decade, we're going to have millions of people that will be displaced. Truck drivers, taxi drivers, tellers, insurance agents, accountants, stock analysts. We have to do something about it because before we will have abundance, we will have disruption.
But so you're saying we need to be more open in our minds to what kind of jobs are we going to be looking at,
it's
right?
Beyond that. We need to be open to the fact that one day we may have job security without having to work. The essence of the meaning of life and the meaning of meaning will have to be redefined. We'll have to get comfortable with other more meaningful activities from which to derive our self-esteem. And there's going to be some pain of adjustment and anguish because the very companies that are here to benefit the most, the Amazons, the Beidus, the Tencents, the Microsofts, the Googles, will have to be part of the solutions. Governments will not be able to do it by themselves.
So this is where collaboration comes in, and forward thinking and future thinking. So Abby, just to end this talk, what would be the company that you want us to watch, recommend our audience about the next big thing?
There are so many great companies here that are our crowd and cognitive companies. I would look first to sustainability and ag tech, and I would say Taranis and Centaur and FreshKeep would give us the nutrition, freshness, and sustainability that the world needs.
Okay, and let's go see how OurCrowd has developed in the last 5 years. Thank you for joining us today. If you're a tech lover, share this post with the hashtag OCSummit18, and be sure to tag me, Ale Barav, and let's see how far we reach together with the power of networks. We will be back after a break. Tune in again at 1:45 Israel time for our next show, and we'll talk about new tech in the real world and go around checking some of the coolest technologies here today. See you then. I'm your host, Ale Barav, live at the official coverage of the OurCrowd Global Investor Summit 2018. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
you.